The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Listen up, this is Freaking Got it. And if you're not listening to Trash Talking Radio, I'm going to go into your living room and I'm going to smack the shit out of you now.
This is JJ Dillon, the original leader of the Four Horsemen. You better be listening to Trash Talking Radio with Mike Trash. And if you don't listen, the Four Horsemen might deal with you.
This is a Honky Tonk Man, and I'm going to tell you right now, 7 to 10 every Tuesday, it's Trash Talking Radio. Brother, if you want to talk some trash, this is the place to be.
This is Dan the Beast Server, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. I know where you live.
Yo, you want to get hardcore, you want to get extreme, this is the Sandman, and we're on TrashTalkerRadio.com.
This is Danny Bonaducci. Nobody trash talks like me. That's why I quit the Partridge Family. A bunch of goofballs dressed up in red velvet suits. How embarrassing. If David Cassidy was there right now, I'd tell him what I think about him. Why? Because you're listening to Trash Talk, 7 to 10 p.m.
Uh-oh, it didn't go to the last scene. That's fun. Oh, there I am. Hey, how you like that? We changed the scene. Decided I wanted Hollywood instead of the last thing that we had up, and that was the, yeah. I want to know why my spinner's not spinning. It should be spinning. I feel like I'm cheated here because it's not spinning. Alright, we did this last week. It's got to be this. Hey, there it's spinning. Alright, now we're spinning. Alright, now things are better. The world is better with spinning. Alright, we got to do the usual checks and balances to see if everything's working right. And I'm going to do one other thing I got to do. Just got to make sure that it looks like I'm behind something. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's see if everything's working like it's supposed to. I don't know that it always works. It never works the way it's supposed to, first off. But we'll check our different things here. Let's go up to the board here. And let's make sure Facebook is working. And it looks like it is. Alright, that's good. That's a good sign. Alright. Let me in. Let me in my own chat room. There we go. There we go. Alright, there's Trish. No one else is there yet. But I just started the show. Okay. Then let's look here at the good old... what you call it? Yeah. You know what I mean. Yeah, Twitter. Twitter, that's it. Just totally lost it. Forgot what Twitter was. Okay. Twitter. Yes, we're up. Yay. Let's pin that where it belongs. Okay, go up to... Yep, we're okay on Twitch. And let's see. Oh, hey, we're even on YouTube. Hey, it looks like my forehead's got something on it, though. I only noticed that in one of them. Gotta check here again. Looks like my forehead's okay on that. Alright, we're broadcasting on all guns, and of course the Mix is with us. And the Mix is our oldest friend, and our most reliable friend, and our no-hassle deal. So, we're all together. Alright, welcome to the show. Tonight's going to be, it should be interesting. I got some really cool stuff, and I got some really sad stuff, and all that garbage that I usually talk about, and got some stuff I don't normally talk about, so that'll give us a nice round amount of things. Okay. What do we got here? Nice spot for your forehead. Is there a spot? I can't. Didn't look like there was anything wrong with my forehead when I'm looking at it. Everything looks good. But you're saying there's a spot. Well, don't look at this. Don't look at the forehead. It's like you stare at it for a while and the person gets a complex. Oh yeah, I see it now. Oh, okay. Well, we can probably fix that. I changed one thing on. I wonder what happens if I turn that off. Will that fix it? We'll have to see now. Okay, gotta wait till it. I'm gonna stand up and then I'll sit down and then we'll see if it turns out to be right. I may have had too much light on me, and so as soon as I stand up there, since there's a lag here. Yep, I'm standing up now. Okay. Well, I cut my head off when I stand up. That's not good. I changed the lighting around a little bit. I changed one of the backdrops and just kind of experimenting with it because I got this idea. I don't know if it's a good one or not. We'll find out if the green screen keeps up with me. So, okay, it looks okay. All right, good. All right, let's see. We'll get started here with the show. We got a Nietzsche report. I don't know which one I'm going to play yet. He's given me a couple of them, so I can't really decide which one I want. Oh boy, that didn't work out. Well, why didn't that work out? All right, I got to do one thing before I even get started because I had to reboot right before the show because it didn't like what I was doing. So I had no sound. For some reason I had no sound. I had sound last week. I had beautiful sound last week. I had no sound this week. And I couldn't figure out why it was doing it. And since it was a booting thing, I thought well maybe it's a booting issue. So I rebooted the whole system. Now let me try. Doesn't like this. Something's up. It doesn't. It's giving me all kinds of headaches, and I don't like headaches. Let me see here. What do I got to do to fix this? All right, we'll do this again. It's gonna be. Let's see. I wonder if I had the wrong place. Maybe I did. No, wait. Here I am. Okay. All right. So what's on the screen now would be black. I wonder if that's it. Display 2. That would be it. Oh, wait a minute. It's going to be black. Oh, you dummy. Oh, dumb. All right, now I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it without having to do anything. That's great. That's the best kind of fixing. Because once the trailer for the... yeah, there it is. It wasn't wrong anyway. There was nothing wrong with it. Oh, boy. You'd think I just started doing this yesterday. All right. Let me see. What do we got here? There, we got it. All right. Everything seems to be right colors. Okay. Everything looks right. It's time to go. Now, where is the beginning? Where should I start? I can't start with the movies because there are no movies. I didn't watch any new movies. All right. Let's put my notes up here. I know I have ideas. Got lots of ideas. Let's see. Here we are. There we are. Okay. It says here, according to Netflix, I believe it's Netflix, if you are a fan of Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston, his character Walter White. Oh yeah, I gotta put this on so you can see it. Didn't think of that. Alright, let me see here. Hey, there it is. Now, is this gonna work? Look at that. That's pretty. Okay. So it didn't look... Alright, that didn't work out quite right. That new curtain didn't work out. Okay. Do this. This is the problem here. Alright. Wasn't the problem when I had all that light. The problem is I had a thing on my forehead. Alright. I'll have to fix that later now that I know that it's there. All right. According, this is going to drive me crazy because of the. That's not a good thing. All right, move this way. All right, I'm over to the side now. Okay. Anyway, so for those that watched Breaking Bad, according to the report that they gave on Netflix, I guess it is, Bryan Cranston's Walter White, his creepiest trait is one that many serial killers have. And after we talk about this, I'll talk about the show I'm watching currently, which is interesting. Psychoanalyzing Walter White from Breaking Bad might seem like digging into the darkest reaches of the criminal mind. In fact, in truth, Walt, played by Bryan Cranston, seems tame if you analyze other criminal characters on TV, especially ones deemed serial killers. Now, if you're into serial killers, there's a show on Netflix, and that show is called Mind Hunters. And that show is kind of cool because it talks about serial killers, and the second season actually was pretty much dedicated to Charles Manson, and it really is interesting how they develop that. It's not it's really a drama, and it's really a good drama, and it's actually filmed in DC, and I actually like that show, and I hope they come up with another season, because I really was captured by the first season, and then I actually thought I might do a monologue from the second season, because it looked so good. It might be a good one to get me some parts. Anyway, it says after fans dug a little deeper into Walt's traits, more have come to the conclusion he had a bit of a serial killer mindset. This makes Breaking Bad protagonist even more complex, considering the sympathy he generated due to his health circumstances. The thing is, until he got sick, he was a stand-up guy. But once he got sick, it unleashed a different part of him. And every time he killed somebody or was involved in the death of somebody, he gained one of their traits. That was kind of interesting how he did that. Like, for instance, Walter White took trophies from each of his victims. Yeah, I mean, again, he did take some of his traits, so that's understood. He really actually got pretty brutal towards the end, and just kind of interesting, because, you know, the first thing you start to see is how he turns from this really nice high school teacher into a pretty mean guy, a kind of guy you don't want to meet in the streets, and a scary guy because he had nothing to lose. He already lost what he thought was, you know, the one thing that we all need to appreciate, and that is the life. He may not live, you know, he might end up being dead through cancer, and he was fighting cancer, and as he kept trying to do more to save himself, he ended up changing his whole character and stuff. So it was really interesting that they came up with this conclusion, because, you know, obviously that's kind of like a given that is the situation. So, but I'm watching a show now called You, Y-O-U. It's on Netflix as well, and I think it started out on Lifetime, because the show originally beeped out any kind of explicit language and stuff like that. But that also is a guy who, here we go. Here's Netflix. Here's You. That is a guy who keeps meeting these girls, and he falls in love with them, and he kind of stalks them, and they actually fall in love with him too, and he ends up, you know, killing a few people. So he's a bit of a serial killer himself. He didn't try to kill him necessarily originally, or maybe he did, and he tries to justify everything he's doing in his mind, and he's, you know, kind of scary, but You know, I like the show. It's kind of funny that this guy, mild-mannered guy, would try to, protect his girl so much that he kills other people, but then he gets jealous and ends up killing her too. But here's the... I want to see that. Let me see here. Oh, the other thing is, it's a psychological thriller, but it's developed by Greg Bertolani. And he is a guy that does a lot of the stuff on DC Comics. He has done, like, let's see, the Supergirl and Legions of the, whatever, here it is. DC Comics, he does Arrowverse, Supergirl. He worked on other DC shows. I'm looking here to see Doom Patrol. Trying to think. I thought there were more of those, but he is one of the guys that's a producer, and also the other producer is what's the guy's name? Oh shoot! I thought I was gonna be all ready and tell you everything about this, but now I'm freaking forgetting his name. Ogawa, Carl Ogawa. He's also on that too. I'm sorry. Let me say it again. He works in conjunction with Carl Ogawa. Now you probably don't know who he is, but if you watch any of the DC things, he's also one of the people that is a producer of that. So I kind of like the show. Now let me read to be sure that I know the season's premiered. Oh yeah, the series premiered on Lifetime in 2018. Let's see. The series attracted a limited audience on Lifetime before becoming more popular and critically success on Netflix. So it's funny because when I watched season 1, it had the Lifetime thing on the bottom, but season 2 didn't have that. It said Netflix. So I thought, I wonder if they adopted that. And of course, season 2, which I'm on now, ended up using swearing and ended up being a little bit more graphic than season 1. Let's see here. I want to look at something here. See if Carl Ogawa's on here. He should be on there because his name comes up in the credits all the time. Production company, Bertolani Productions, A&E Studios, Alloy Entertainment, Warner Horizon Television, and I'm trying to see here. I don't see Ogawa on here, but he's on the credits. It's kind of interesting. Well, I mean, that's really interesting to me. But if you're looking for a thriller and like serial killers, which some people do, this will be a good show for you because I love this show as much. I really didn't think I'd like that show, but as the show progressed, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is pretty cool," and it had shades of Breaking Bad in that his personality and stuff that he was trying to not be, or he could justify being this serial killer by saying, "Oh, I'm doing this to protect her," or whatever. So it was interesting. I really liked the show quite a bit, and it's kind of fun. And actually, it had on it the guy from, oh shoot, can't think of his name. Yeah, John Stamos played the therapist in season 1. Now, I saw the guy and I looked at him and I said, he looks awfully familiar. And then I found in the credits his name, and I thought, whoa, which is that? John Stamos is the therapist? And sure enough, he was. It was interesting. So John Stamos is just in that for the first season so far. I'm thinking, it was good. It's a good show, though. If you ever are looking for a type looking for a serial killer type thing, this is the one to watch. So, all right. And to answer your question or your statement, I did reboot early, and everything was working except that what happened was I didn't realize that the sound wasn't working because everything else was working. And I sat here doing something else, some stuff in the studio with the curtains and stuff. And right as I was about to go on the air, I realized it wasn't playing. Now you could hear the voice. You could hear the voice, but you couldn't hear the music or video clips or anything. The only thing you could hear was the voice, and I couldn't figure out why. And I couldn't get any sound out of the port. So I didn't know what was going on with that. It took me, till I got myself... till I rebooted everything to figure out what was going on. It sucks because everything was ready, and what do you do? It just, fortunately I don't have a time limit. So, fortunately nobody keeps track of my time, I should say, because the mix don't care as long as I'm off before the next show, and I don't know when the next show is, so I think I'm off before the next show. And, it's just one of those things. So... hold on a sec, I just want to check one thing here. I just want to make sure. Where is he? John Stamos is Dr. Nicky. Alright, there it is. The only thing I can't remember is what happened to him. I gotta watch it again to see. I don't remember what happened to his character. Anyway, that's the whole thing, is I want to talk about this new show that I'm watching, and talk about Breaking Bad, because it's rare when you see Breaking Bad things that are relevant to today, because everything is. Breaking Bad's been off the air for probably 6 years or whatever. So anyway, all right, Ryan Reynolds fans. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are donating $200,000 to the NAACP because of this George Floyd protest problem. Not that they're supporting they aren't. Wait a minute. Let me say that again. Not that they're supporting George Floyd dying. They're supporting the idea that we can't be killing people, Mr. Policeman, over whatever that was. Because to me, that was ridiculous. I saw the footage of the officer killing George Floyd, and it's ridiculous. I can't even imagine what was going through their mind. But it says Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have donated $200,000 to the Legal Defense Fund of the NAACP, Legal Defense Fund, in the wake of protests taking place across the U.S. following the death of George Floyd. We never had to worry about preparing our kids for different rules of law or what might happen if we were pulled over in a car, the pair wrote in a statement shared on Instagram. We don't know what it's like to experience that day in and day out. We can't imagine that kind of fear and anger. We're ashamed that the past we've allowed ourselves to be uniformed about how deeply rooted systematic racism is. And being white, I would not even understand that myself, because I have been pulled over, but not because I was white. It was just, I probably went fast, or, I have been questioned by the police on why I'm somewhere when I shouldn't be and stuff like that, but it's not the same thing. Driving while black is something that does really happen, and the policemen actually do, sadly, the racism is out there, but and that this time it's sparked stuff going on all over. Lots of cities are on fire, and I'll talk about that later on. But Floyd was a 46-year-old black man. He died in Minneapolis on May 25th after the white police officer restrained him by kneeling into his neck. The officer, Derek Chauvin, was arrested Friday and has been charged with third-degree murder, second-degree manslaughter. You know, it's really sad that this kind of stuff still happens. I mean, the guy was on the ground. He could have put him in handcuffs and put him in the car, and this would have never happened. But that's not what happened. And I don't know if he was trying to make a point to the people that saw it. I don't understand. And I don't know why he was even approached by the police officer. I mean, maybe he did do something, maybe he didn't, but he didn't deserve to die. So that is just unbelievable. And the thing is that one bad thing does not deserve a second. And I don't have a problem with people protesting. I have a problem with people destroying. And, you know, if you are protesting someone dying, that's okay. I mean, it's okay to protest someone dying. It's not okay to have them killed, but it is okay to protest them dying as far as I'm concerned. But the thing that bothers me is all the shop owners, store owners that are suffering because people think, oh, well, this is a perfect time to loot. Someone died, so I'm entitled to steal from that company who had nothing to do with the murder. And you know, walk out with somebody's TV and say, oh, well, you know, he did it, so I should be able to do it too. That's not right. It's not right on so many levels. And I don't understand. I just do not understand what the mentality of the people are that do that. So, anyway, I just want to say that, you know, I just wish that the people that protest, I'm okay with that. I don't, you know, we are in a country where we're allowed to protest. We're not in a country where we're allowed to steal and steal from someone who is obviously not even part of it. A CVS store, okay, they didn't have anything to do with it. But, you know, the fire and stuff that people were setting on peaceful protest, that's what it is, peaceful protest. That's why you're okay in this country, is peaceful protest. But if you're going to destroy things, steal things, just because, you know, you feel that George was wronged, you know, the thing is, it's a sad day when a police officer, someone who's supposed to be taking care of all of us, ends up killing someone because of his negligence. But it's another thing when groups of people show up with the intent of stealing, destroying, putting on fire, whatever it is. That's sad, because that kind of thing shouldn't happen. So, all right, enough of that. Elon Musk is always in the news. He's my hero, one of my heroes. Elon Musk just made $770 million. That's a good day's good take. I would be happy with any of that, and unfortunately I have none of that. But why did he get $770 million? Well, I'll tell you why. The CEO of Tesla and SpaceX achieved his boyhood dream of launching 2 American astronauts into space for the first time. He just got $1.68 million stock options that provided him with $770 million payday. Well, that's a good day. I'd go out to dinner with that. In fact, I'd buy the restaurant with that kind of money. I'd buy the whole chain of restaurants for that money. The SpaceX flew. It drew national coverage at Saturday's launch. Musk's payday got less attention because partly it was already expected to happen. Under a compensation plan approved by Tesla stock owners 2 years ago, Musk received options to buy 1.7 million shares of Tesla stock at $3.50 a share. That's like way less than half the price that it's currently going at. I think it was $890 or something a share today. The grant was issued because Tesla achieved some operational goals that it set out in the plan and had its market value of more than $1 billion over the course of 6 months. It hit that target in May, and it hit that target in May with this whole pandemic thing going on. There's another topic people are tired of. They had two choices of things they wouldn't want to talk about. Those are the two: the pandemic and the killing. And anyway, the shares would give Musk a theoretical gain of $770 million at the close of trading Thursday, the day the options were formally granted. By the close of Friday, the value had crept to nearly $820 million, and shares were higher once again, trading Monday. So, yeah, I think Elon's not going to be needing a loan to stay afloat. So I found that really interesting. I really am impressed by that man. He does. A lot of people don't like him. I don't know. He's kind of like a Trump in that he shoots his mouth off and gets himself in trouble for shooting his mouth off. But he continues to shoot his mouth off anyway. So, anyway. Jeff Hardy is in the news.
If you ever buy anything
and
from
it's
Apple,
really controversial that he's in the news.
It's
because,
a browser.
It's not really real, I think.
It appears that this
in fact, I know it's not real. It's where Jeff Hardy, he was arrested for an accident he had that supposedly put out another wrestler, that wrestler right there, who happens to be, I think, let me see. Oh, that's not it. That's not who I thought it was. Hold on.
Like this car came flying out of nowhere, and I heard it crash. And a guy just jumped out of it and took off running. I went over there to see what's going on, and Elias is laying on the ground. I mean, I called 911. I think he's going to be okay. I hope. I mean...
Now, first off, this is not real. Second off, they're playing off of Jeff Hardy's past addiction problems, which I don't really approve of. To me, it's something that when they did it with Road Warrior Hawk, he ended up dying shortly after that. Not from anything, but his abuse that he had already had done to his body. But I just think that there's certain things that don't need to be played out, and this is one of them. I really think that them doing this to Jeff Hardy, I mean, I realize you do what you got to do, and when they tell you to do something, you got to do it, or else, suffer whatever the reasons are. I really wish he would leave there. I know he can't leave there yet until his contract's up, and he's got to go through, I think, this year, and then he'll be a free agent. And yes, he has had problems with substances, but I think he even got pulled over recently and wasn't drunk. So that's what this whole mess is all about, is that they decided they were going to, I don't know, make a joke out of it. I just don't think it's funny. I don't think that there's anything good about abuse, substance abuse. You don't really need to make fun of a person who has had substance abuse problems in the past. More than likely will have substance abuse problems in the future. And I just think that it's wrong for them to do this. So, if you want to see it, it's going to be posted on Facebook and on Twitter. I got to get a few of these other guys that I don't have any. I do have a Pinterest. I wonder if I should post it to that. Yeah. Channels. Wrestling. Guess I could make a new one. Wrestling. I don't know. I just think that it's sad that they're using this whole situation. I don't know. Because I mean, I'm not a giant. I like Matt Hardy. I think that Matt Hardy's really come a long way in the past couple of years. But I don't know. To me, it's just too much. It's just something that we don't really need So, all right, now it's not letting me do it. Select start and end date. I don't know. Do we have to? That says optional. Let's see. What am I doing? Add collaborators. I don't know. I don't have any collaborators. I don't know what's going on here. It's not letting me do it. Or is it? Okay, cancel. Okay, top choices. There we go. I guess. Oh, I can post to Twitter at the same time. Ooh, now that's good. I like that. All right. Okay. Let's do it. Are we going to do it or not? It's not letting me do it. All right, let me out of here. Darn it. Wait, maybe if I start over. Try Pinterest. Boom. We'll do this. Boom. Hey, there we go. Send. Okay. Huh, I like that. All right, we'll do that. And next time I can do it so that it goes to, it pins to Twitter too. Interesting. I like that. Anyway, all right. Where was I? Who's in the chat room? Nietzsche's in the chat room. That's cool. I got the next thing here. Okay. Now, I haven't done a lot of wrestling stuff lately, but I had to do this. I really enjoyed this. I found out that Rusev, when he left the WWE by not being renewed in his contract, and he was telling a story. He's got his own site now, and I think it's called something like Miro. Anyway, somebody had an interview with him, and I thought it was really funny. The interview was in WrestleZone, and he talked about his lone work at Wendy's. It is a great story. He says it's not a great story, but the story is actually pretty good. It says at one point Rusev Day was once Wendy's week on his YouTube channel known as Miro, and it's not known as Miro. It's something else. It's something with Miro in the name. Shared quite a brief tale of a brief cup of coffee he had working at Wendy's as early as 20-year-old. They were making me put a W on the burger. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that Wendy's did that. When they make the burgers, they make you put a W on the burger with the mustard and stuff. And if you work at Wendy's, please share it that way. Please, wait, I'm sorry. Let me read that again. If you work at Wendy's, please, you can share that if it is that way. You got to draw a W with the mustard. I did it a couple times, and I said, that's pretty stupid, obviously. No disrespect for Wendy's. Why is it stupid? Well, it's really actually kind of funny. And he came up with this. So, yeah, we all put this W, and I was like, man, this is really stupid. First of all, who's going to open their bun to see if there's a W? Well, Mr. Manager's going to do it. Hey, Mr. Manager, if you open the burger the other way, the W becomes an M for McDonald's, and they're like, oh, we never thought of that. So anyways, it's not a great story, but actually it's a great story. I thought it was funny. It was a week later. I never showed up for work. I was embarrassed to quit. I'm 20 years, and I'm fresh off the boat. I'm probably a month in from the United States. Rusev makes it known, but finally he was convinced to get paid, to go and get paid by the Piper. I was so embarrassed to go and pick up my check after that, but my friend was like, nah, man, this is money. You got to go pick it up. So I got $170 check. So just kind of funny because you don't really think of it. Oh, here it is. His channel is To Be Miro TV. So if you want to check him out, he's there. And like I said, I saw that. I thought it was hilarious that he's talking about that. And I wasn't sure that he was really a foreigner, but I guess he is. So let's see here. It talks about arriving in America and how that experience didn't necessarily live up to the glitz and glam he was expecting. I rode the Greyhound bus and I was so happy. I was so proud because watching all these American movies and seeing the Greyhound buses and seeing how cool it was. But if you've never been on a Greyhound bus, I'll tell you what, it's not cool by any means. I'll tell you this, it's not cool by any means. It's cool. he says things that were opposite. Anyway, it's just a bus that does not stop for many, many hours, whether you like it or not. You can check out anyway. But that's if you were or are a Rusev fan, you can check out these stories, and I just found them funny. I think that I always liked Rusev. I didn't really like the last angle he was in forever. I thought they dragged that out forever, and it was sad because I just felt that they shouldn't have destroyed him quite that bad over whatever he did. I don't know what he did, but yeah, it's sad. It really is. It just is a horrible way to treat your people. So, but yeah, Rusev is actually kind of all the wrestlers that are out there, I definitely admired him because I found him hilarious, and I liked some of the things he did and some of the things that because I felt that he really lost a lot of weight too. When he first got there, he was a lot heavier, but he had really scaled his body down and looked really pretty good. So, all right, we will do this one too, and we'll post that. I want to see. Should have been on Twitter. Okay, so we should be on Twitter. Maybe. Hopefully, it'll go on Twitter. Won't play. Okay, here we go. All right. Anyway, I just found him really entertaining. So, I got to say that certain people should learn to keep their mouth shut. And if your name is Hogan, I think you should be one of the people that keep your mouth shut. The Hogans don't seem to have a good track record for talking. And Linda Hogan is the newest in the new idiots out there. So Linda Hogan made a let me see, where's it at? Where is that article? Here it is. She posted I really think that if she was smart, she would just disappear from the public. But the post, looking here, watching the looting. It's all Afro-Americans, not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized. Oh man, Linda. What are we going to do with you? I am in shock that anybody would say something like that. That woman's got some serious issues, and now everyone's really jumping on the bandwagon, as they should, because that's the kind of thing that just it's wrong. But now there's everybody that is hating on Linda, which I don't have a problem with either, because but a lot of the people here's the exact thing. All right, let me see here. How do we... I guess I can retweet it that way. I'm going to retweet this. To me, it just it shows how she thinks that, first of all, she thinks her opinion matters. Second of all, she thinks that people care about her, when it's just the opposite. Because even if you don't like Hulk, you really don't like her. Because she just came off like such an idiot to begin with. Look at this, trending. Let's see if she said anything since then. Probably not. But I just can't believe anybody would say that. But the other thing that's interesting was that All Elite said that she has been banned from All Elite. Not that means anything. Hogan's also banned from All Elite, which I think is kind of weird and stupid, but whatever. That's a publicity thing more than anything, I'm sure. And everybody's all jumping on the bandwagon. I don't really care. I mean, Linda Hogan, I don't really pay any attention to her, but she truly showed her ignorance with that. So, I just think, oh man, these people are just, they're vicious too. But, you know, I feel sorry for her because she's an idiot. But, let me see here. Even funnier about Tony Khan banning Hogan is in the questionable moments popping up in the AEW from certain people. So Tony is learning how to deflect. Brandy Rhodes didn't have a good weekend, though. The people coming at her on Twitter were trash. No, I didn't do anything after her. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. And, you know, you never know who's going to say stupid things. But I try to be careful about what I say, because anything can be misconstrued, but you can't misconstrue what she said. So, next. All right, where are we at here? Okay, so I can get rid of that now. And now, on to the next part. All right. If you're a race fan, which I'm not, but it's the only sport that's actually doing a whole lot right now. If you're a race fan, Brad, I don't know how to say his name, Keselowski, stole a win at the Bristol on Sunday. So this is another race that they have had recently, and a second crash happened between Chase Elliott and Joey Logano with less than 3 laps to go. Elliott got to the inside of Logano, but his car snapped loose in the corner. Elliott slid into Logano, and the two went into the wall as Keselowski drove on past. So Keselowski was really actually pretty lucky then, because the other two screwed him up, or, well, screwed themselves up. So, yeah, if you're a race fan, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to really love racing. I used to think that that was the greatest thing. But, you know, as an adult, doesn't mean as much to me. But, I mean, I could name drivers way back then. Hey, they have their masks on and they're talking about this. They're talking about the crash. So, but yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, not funny, but good that they're wearing their masks. You know, I was out this weekend and I went into True Value Hardware. Actually, that was yesterday. Went to True Value Hardware. And True Value Hardware, of all things, everybody in there didn't have a mask on. So I guess people think that it's done and we don't have anything to be concerned about. That concerns me a little bit because, I mean, I had it, so I don't really think I could get it again, but, you know, these people don't seem to realize how bad this thing is. Because you get this, and if it doesn't kill you, you're just not gonna feel very good for a long time. I felt horrible for I don't know how long, and so I just think that people should really seriously consider getting, you know, wearing masks when they're close to other people. All right. Anyway, yeah, the big one, Bristol, big one at Bristol. Multiple cars are involved. So here we see. No, we don't see it. No, I guess it's just a bunch of videos. All right. You're agreeing our revised policy. Okay, fine. I'll agree. I don't care. Can I take the clips though? I want to see what happens here. Yeah. All right, then we got, hey Danny, how you doing? I read your rant. I kind of agree with you. So, just to know that people are stupid. Anyway, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Trevor Lawrence, what do they have in common? Well, they all have been speaking out after the George Floyd death. And the entire nation's reeling after the death of George Floyd, an African-American, in Minneapolis, killed after the police was caught on cancer, but whatever. The protests of a number of prominent members of increasing socially conscious sports community. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown even drove 15 hours from Boston to Atlanta to participate in protests. Trae Young spoke at a peaceful protest, and many others have walked in with people asking for change. So, yeah, I mean, it's there aren't a lot of athletes that have the power of Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan, his statement was, "I am truly saddened, truly pained, and plain angry. I see and feel everyone's pain, outrage, and frustration. I stand with those who are calling out the ingrained racism and violence towards people of color in our country. We've had enough. I don't have the answers, but our collective voices show strength and the inability to be divided by others. We must listen to each other, show compassion and empathy, and never turn our backs on senseless brutality. We need to continue peaceful expressions and justice and demand accountability. Our unified voice needs to put pressure on the leaders to change our laws, or else we need to use our vote to create systematic change. Every one of us needs to be part of the solution, and we must work together to ensure justice for all. My heart goes out to the family of George Floyd and to the countless others who have been brutally and senselessly taken acts of racism and injustice." And he signed it. I mean, I totally agree with everything. You know, I would like to see something change for the good. And I just don't know what the solution is, because there's so many bad people in this world that will take any chance they can to do bad because they can somehow in their mind justify what they did. And how they justify stealing from a shop owner that had nothing to do with it, I can't understand that at all. I can't fathom that at all. I mean, when I was a kid, I won't say I never stole anything, because that would be lying. In fact, I stole things up until I was probably 16. I didn't have any money. I didn't have anything. I mean, I'm not trying to justify it, because I was obviously wrong to do that. But we've all done bad things, but to the extent that these people are doing it, burning down things and destroying things and stealing things, that's not protesting. That's just destroying. And that, to me, is just absolute stupidity. So, rioting, yeah, I mean, that's just, there's no reason for it. There's no reason that anybody should do that. So it really saddens me when I see this kind of thing happen, because I mean, every year or every couple years something like this happens, whether it be Trayvon Martin or whatever. I mean, this happens way too often, and I don't understand. I cannot figure out why the police officer felt he had to continue kneeling on the guy's neck. Because once you got handcuffs on him, you don't have to worry about him getting away. I don't know if he was trying to make a point, showing everybody he will not be bullied, or whatever. But whatever he did, whatever his thought pattern was, he killed a man. That's what it comes down to. And he should be held accountable. And I think that peaceful protest is okay. The protest that people want, I mean, with Trayvon Martin, it was the same situation. They didn't take down Zimmerman or arrest Zimmerman till who knows how long. Even with the girl that killed her daughter, that wasn't a race thing, but she didn't get arrested right away either, because we have due process. We have to do things by the book. And some people are definitely not patient. And again, I can't speak for anyone but myself. I would feel the same way, that I want justice right away. But the reality is, it doesn't work that fast. Justice takes time. So, we all know he did it. We all know that he was wrong. I mean, if it was up to me, he'd be put to death now. I mean, he's already going through all kinds of stuff. His wife's divorcing him. I think she's divorcing him for reasons like he's going to be sued and he's going to lose everything, and that's probably her way of probably saving something. I'm not sure. I know that this has got to end, though. We got to stop the rioting. We've got to. I mean, I don't have a problem with Trump bringing in the National Guard. I don't have any problems with them if they're going to riot and destroy things. There's no reason to destroy things. The people who were going to suffer from that had nothing to do with what happened. So, I'm sorry I said I wasn't going to say anything else, but I did anyway. Anyway, let's talk about something interesting. Our sun unleashes the largest flare since 2017. Woo! That's not a Ric Flair either. Is our star waking up? I don't know. On Friday morning, May 29th, our star fired off its strongest flare since October 2017. The eruption, spotted by NASA's sun watching. How'd you like to have that job? You sit in a little cubicle with your telescope and you're watching the sun all day. I gotta say that would probably be the world's most boring thing. I don't know. I can't imagine trying to justify that kind of living. Hey, what do you do for a living? I work at the grocery store downtown. What do you do? I watch the sun. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. People, I mean, I guess we got to have somebody watch the sun. But I could honestly say that wouldn't be my favorite thing to do. So, that's funny. Now, what's wrong? We blocked this link because it may lead to spam. Why? You're not going to let me post that? That's not spam. Well, so much for them allowing me to post. All right. What? I don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, I just think it's interesting that I don't know what the flare means as far as the posting of the flare, but that's what it is. Let's see then. I already said that, so I'm not going to talk about that again. I'm going to destroy this. Get rid of this. Oh, here, this is crazy. So, every time something like this happens, somebody will. When I say about this, let's talk about Corona a little bit. Whenever something like this happens, where you're supposed to wear your mask and stuff, and people are always looking for something to sensationalize. And this post was, it says here, Facebook post spread unsupported anonymous claim that a face mask can be used to cause lung infection in healthy teenager. So, what in the world was that all about? Because really, seriously, that isn't even really a thing. So here, let me try to get this up here. All right, so here it is. The claim is that Facebook face mask can cause a lung infection to a healthy teenager. So, if I heard that, I would say, well, maybe. I don't know. All right, here's what it says. The claim is wearing a mask caused a 19-year-old grocery store worker to be hospitalized for a lung infection due to breathing her own carbon dioxide and bacteria. According to this health feedback webpage. Incorrect, because face mask filters are porous enough to allow gas molecules such as carbon dioxide and oxygen to pass through them freely. Health workers who wear masks for long periods of time do not demonstrate significant impairment in work performance, as would be the case if masks were hypercapnia. It's unsupported. There's no evidence showing that breathing in bacteria that one has exhaled can cause an infection. So there you go. That's just, somebody was just looking for something that, for nothing, because this person was saying they got this infection, and maybe if they brushed their teeth and did a little, personal hygiene, it wouldn't have happened. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. So, and everybody believed it. Everyone had to share it to all their friends because they believed that was true. And it says here, within a few days of some of the earliest posts, dated May 28th, 2020, more than 200 posts containing the claim had appeared on Facebook with more than 31,000 interactions. In another version of the post, the supposed parent of the hospitalized 19-year-old asks others to spread the news of the incident because they can't post publicly for undisclosed reasons. And I know I can trust you to not post my name. So it's just people that want to get people to panic over these masks. Hi, Deb. I just think that that's just as bad as the original post, that if people are posting this stuff. People were posting a claim that 5G, yes, I'm talking about the cellular 5G, the cellular 5G caused the coronavirus. That's what was posted. And I got linked to that. I don't know how many times people posted it and passed it on. I started asking people, do you really believe this? They said, I don't know. I would just pass it on. I said, why are you passing it on if you don't know? Then you're adding to the problem, not the solution. And they said, I don't know. I don't post anything, well, except for last week when I posted something without reading it, and I felt really stupid once I realized that it was wrong. Someone gave me that post, and it was a last-minute addition to my show, and I got to it because it was about Little Richard, and I thought, oh, Little Richard story, that would be cool. And I didn't realize it till I was at the end of the story that I should have never posted that because it wasn't true. So, we all live and we all learn, and I got snagged on a stupid post that wasn't real. And usually I do as much research as I can, so I don't give you that stuff, but sometimes they catch you. So anyway, that's the if you see that where the teenager says that they caught the coronavirus or caught a lung infection from wearing a mask, that's not true. So Harrisburg is moving to the next level. I know that other towns are ahead of us, other towns are behind us, but we're gonna see next week, actually come Friday, Saturday, restaurants and stuff are going to be opening up. They're going to have outdoor seating. They're going to close off a couple streets so that you can have seating outdoors, and we're at least having some social distancing. So they're going to put all kinds of picnic tables outside. Now, hopefully it doesn't rain, but picnic tables outside are a lot better than... you know what? I never thought I'd say I really want someone to serve me dinner. It's been so long since I've had someone else serve me dinner. And I usually don't care if I go out to eat or not, but I haven't had... I haven't had dinner out since, I want to say, February. I'm ready. I'm ready to eat. So be prepared. But anyway, they're going to be opening up in Harrisburg. They're going to be opening up, like I said, street closures, restaurants announced for Harrisburg's outdoor dining nights. So I am very excited that we're going to see things opening up like this. This weekend I went out where I thought maybe one of my favorite restaurants would be open because, you know, some of them are and some aren't. And I didn't know if anybody was doing outdoor seating yet, because some places, you know, have outdoor seating. But I thought, if they have outdoor seating, I'm going to sit down and order me a meal. Unfortunately, they didn't have outdoor seating, so I went to Giant and bought Chinese and took it home and ate. But yeah, hopefully this is going to be a different thing, because, you know, this is the beginning of us having service in the restaurant industry. Dining is in the street. It's coming to Harrisburg June 5th. Several restaurants in partnership with Downtown Improvement District will host Saturday Night in the City. The weekly events are designed to give struggling restaurants an opportunity to boost business during the coronavirus pandemic. We know that business have faced challenges and struggles during this pandemic, says Mayor, I didn't even know who the mayor was, Eric Pappenfuse, in a statement. I encourage residents to come support their favorite restaurants safely as we work together to get through these difficult times. These events will be held 6 to 9 Saturdays in June. The tables will be spread out between North 2nd Street, between Market Street and Pine Streets, as well as portions of State and North Streets. Diners purchase to-go food and drinks and take a seat at the tables. Social distancing and safety precautions will be practiced. Last week, Governor Tom Wolf announced counties operating in yellow can begin limited outdoor dining starting June 5th. Dauphin County entered yellow on May 29th, which was last weekend. Participating restaurants include Stocks on 2nd, Carly's Restaurant, Piano Bar, Cafe Fresco, which I've eaten there before, 2nd Street Shawarma, Adlib Kitchen and Bar, Sawyer's, Bourbon Street Saloon, Bourbon Street Saloon, McGrath's Irish Pub, Taste Buffalo, Aruga's, I've eaten there, Federal Tap House, and Mangia Key, Rubicon, I've eaten there before, and Cork and Fork. So, I think it's good. It's like to see that happen, and I think that it's a start, and hopefully people will, you know, start to hang out and have outside food, and be nice to do it. But I'm hoping this isn't too soon, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't feel like it should be. You know, we haven't heard anything about any increases, I believe, in the virus for a while. Protests may derail what was expected to be a strong reopening of Las Vegas. So Vegas was thinking they were going to open up the casinos a little bit, and Thursday's is scheduled reopening of Nevada casinos, and demand was expected to be strong. It says here, however, civil unrest across the country has introduced new uncertainty. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. When I started watching TV last night, I was like going from channel to channel and seeing all this stuff. It's just a lot to take in. I can't believe we're seeing all this. It's amazing, the violence that we're seeing taking place. But what can we do? I mean, we just have to work through this. And It's weird. Las Vegas is launching a welcome back ad campaign to encourage visitors to come, but now guests will have to weigh not only the risks of the coronavirus, but civil unrest. You know, it's funny how many people during this during the protests and stuff are not masked. There are a lot of people not masked. I hope that that's not going to have us see a new boost in coronavirus, which it could. We could very well see more cases due to people not being careful. So, I would love to go back to Vegas, but I don't know if I'm ready for a casino, because really people have to be pretty much on top of each other if you're at a casino. I don't know. I just don't know. Time will tell. I really hope to see the corona thing go away, or a vaccine or something. I'm not worried about me getting it because I already got it, and I really don't. I'm hoping I'm right by saying I'm not going to get it again, but I guess we'll find out. So, since we're in isolation, and some of us aren't working, what if would you like a job? Would you like a job in isolation? Well, NASA is able to help you, maybe. What they're going to do is they're going to actually take a handful of people, and they're going to put them in isolation and pay them to be in isolation. Now that sounds interesting. So, okay, so you say, okay, how's this all work out? All right, what they're doing is, it says here, by this point, stop it. By this point, we've heard from plenty of readers and social media contacts who've been clawing at the walls after being locked down at home for weeks or months. That's totally understandable, but now you've got some practice in operating from isolation. Perhaps you've put those new skills to use and get paid for it to boot. NASA wants to do some long-term testing on human subjects to see how a group of them would make out living together in a cramped environment for 8 months. This will simulate some of the conditions astronauts are expected to endure during future missions to the moon and to Mars. So, all right, so what do they want? Well, they're seeking candidates to go into isolation for 8 months. And so, all right, here it says, before you get excited, you don't actually go to Mars or the moon when this is over. The job is to be the guinea pig to study what happens to you both physically and mentally over an extended period of time. This is allegedly to help them screen candidates for long-term space missions. Of course, it's not an exact simulation. You won't be bombarded by radiation 24/7 like you would be in space. You won't suffer from bone density degradation from zero-G environment. There's a few requirements. I wouldn't pass the requirements, by the way. You have to be between the ages of 30 and 55. I'm 25, so I'm a little young. You need to speak fluently in both English and Russian. I can do the Russian part, but I still have problems speaking English. You'll need either a college degree or military experience as well, and you'll have to be able to pass a physical and psychological exam. Sounds familiar to another simulation conducted in 2016 in Hawaii. 3 men and 3 women lived in isolation in an enclosure for an entire year doing various tasks and tests. There's a wonderful podcast made about their experiences called The Habitat. Things didn't go really well as expected. Blech. 2 of the subjects started a romantic physical relationship before very long splitting off from everyone else. One person became pretty much hated by the rest of the group. Hey, isn't that there's some kind of isolation? What game show is that? Maybe that's Survivor, like Survivor. Let's see here. Some of them went into periods of depression and started failing to complete all their tasks and file the required reports. NASA learned a lot from that experiment. It wasn't easy on the subject. So, if interested, even if I met the qualifications, I couldn't see myself applying. And you know what? I don't have a problem with social distancing. Why is it? Because, I mean, that's my general life anyway. So I can social distance till the cows come home, and probably not going to make a big deal. I mean, I do miss having meals out occasionally, but I wasn't doing that many meals anyway, because when I wasn't dating or anything, why would I go out and eat by myself? So I usually got my meals and took them home and made them myself. So anyway, enough of that. Next question, would you buy meat from a vending machine? A butcher in New York is betting on it. Would you? I mean, I have to think that I would probably buy meat from a vending machine. I think. Oh, doesn't sound that horrible. I mean, we buy everything else. We buy sandwiches from a machine that you can't even see the sandwich. I think I would do that. I think I would do that. It says, after working 6 days a week for 5 years straight, Kevin McCann got an unexpected 2.5-month break. After deciding to close his butcher shop out of safety concerns during the coronavirus, he got a chance to reflect on his business. When McCann's Local Meats reopens June 1st, it will have implemented some changes that may have more difficult during the unrelenting flow of day-to-day business. The most obvious change will greet customers when they open the door at the shop in South Wedge neighborhood of Rochester, New York. Standing in the shop's reconfigured vestibule will be a large refrigerated vending machine. Its 9 levels of revolving shelves will be stocked with things like freshly cut, uncooked steaks, burgers, sausages, pork chops, chicken, and bacon. There might even be some of the shop's prepared foods, such as mac salad, potato salad, macaroni and cheese, baked beans, and soup. The machine will accept credit cards and Apple Pay, but no cash. So, I mean, just basically a sandwich machine, except it'll have meats and stuff in it. I could see that. I could do that. I would buy that, as long as it's changed out and kept at the right temperature. Sure. McCann sees the vending machines as a way to seize customers who wanted minimal contact during the coronavirus, as well as to sell product when the shop is closed. Side hustles, it says business ventures to survive okay, he got the idea from Joshua Applestone, with whom McCann worked in the past. Applestone owns Applestone Meat Company, which has 2 shops in Hudson Valley that offers fresh meat from vending machines and are open 24/7. He's been in my ear for 5 years. This is a cool opportunity. So the changes will be limiting the number of people in the building to 5, requiring face masks in the building, observing guidance on the floor for 6 feet spacing, a sanitizing system for pens used to sign credit cards and receipts, an online ordering system for ready-to-eat foods such as sandwiches, bread, French fries, pancakes. New hours will be 9 to 6. And wow, this is a pretty nice place they got. They looks like they got a decent. Let's see here. See what the. Okay. I mean, I don't see any issues with that. We could buy everything in a vending machine now anyway, so that would be, as long as, like I said, precautions are taken like they should be, and I could see that. So, yeah, why not? I don't know how they could sell some of the stuff, because I mean, you can't buy like any big amounts of meat because of the size of it. The vending machine, I would imagine. I don't know. But yeah, that's one way you can get in, get out. That's my favorite way of doing things. Don't want to spend too much time in there. But yeah, kind of cool. Back to his numbers. Eat meat. That's great. So, yeah, I'd buy mine. I would do that. Because there's times when I would like to avoid the supermarket. And it'd be nice if there was... It'd be nice to have an alternative like that. You know, sometimes all I want to do is just, you know, buy meat products rather than, you know, bread or whatever. I just want to make, you know, want to have a picnic or have kind of cookout or something like that, and don't really want to go into the whole thing. So, all right. As looters hit the mall, security guard begs them to stop. We're one of you. Yeah, this is one of those times when you just wonder, like, why are you doing this? I mean, it's one thing to do it if Nordstrom's, for instance, was the problem. You go in there and protest Nordstrom's. Yeah, okay, you could do that, but the problem is Nordstrom's is not the problem. The problem is the people not allowing the people to. I mean, they're criminals. The people that are doing this are criminals and should be dealt with as criminals. So, as far as I'm concerned, you do what you got to do. Take them out. You know, take them out by any means necessary. Well, short of doing another George, killing somebody. But yeah, protesters remain on the streets past mandatory curfews. Large crowds continue to gather past their city's curfews in New York and D.C. So we still have lots of people out there. Protesters outside the White House 20 minutes after curfew. I mean, what do they want them to do? I just don't know. There's police lined up at the shopping stop at the northeast and some at the southwest. Unclear what comes next. There's just amazing amounts of people. 10 minutes after curfew, no police warnings yet. Still marching. There's more. It says here, peaceful protesters are demanding care, not cops. And People's Budget organizers with BLMLA, Black Lives Matter LA, kept action under wraps all day. They held a training nearby to emphasize peaceful methods of resistance. And the fifth day of Lafayette Park, no justice, no peace. But at least there's no looting and there's no burning and stuff like that. St. Paul Police chief walks with the church leaders Tuesday. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with protesting. I do have a problem with people that are looting and destroying things. I just don't understand why people feel that they have a right to steal from other people. And that's not what the protest is about. The protest is about things that affect all of us. Well, I mean, not in that way, but I just feel that there's got to be a better way to do things. So, the National Guard was activated in Minnesota, Georgia, and Washington and other states on Saturday. It says at least 13 cities and counties declared curfews following clashes between the police and protesters. Protests against police brutality in the U.S. goes global. Police have made nearly 1,700 arrests in the U.S. 22 U.S. cities since Thursday. Several reporters said that they were targeted while covering the protests. Just unbelievable. Nationwide protests over George Floyd's death. Live updates right there off of NBC News. Just amazing. Some police step out to show support for the George Floyd demonstrators. They have taken a knee for the demonstrators, and that's in Florida. Just amazing. Just amazing. Here, protesters pull flag from St. John's Church, now adding adding tree limbs to a fire. You know, just crazy. But I mean, I understand the frustration. I don't understand the frustration because I'm not one of the people involved, and I will never probably be able to understand because I'm not a man of color. So here's a weird thing. So we got the bad thing we have is we have, you know, the protesters that are the looters. But here's a large truck driving through the crowd of protesters in Minneapolis. No reports of injuries. The truck driver was pulled from the cab and has been arrested. The semi-truck driver drives right into the crowd of protesters on I-35. I just, you know, at least he didn't drive in fastly, but, I mean, didn't drive in fastly. Didn't drive in fast. But he still did drive in, and it's a bit crazy. So, well, he was driving a little fast at the beginning.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The truck was going
well, oh my gosh. People got out of the way. That's a good thing. If he was honking his horn, maybe, I don't know how
I can't
that
imagine,
happens.
like,
I honestly don't know.
Driving in that bridge and into the crowd. I'd be afraid for my life because, you know, I mean, look at all those people that are climbing on the truck and trying to get him, as they should have. But, I mean, I don't know that I would climb up on the truck at that point because the guy's crazy enough to drive into the crowd. I don't know. I mean, he may. I don't know why he did that. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. Can they say who he is? I wonder. A large truck was on the same drive. Department of Public Safety called it very disturbing actions by a truck driver. The truck driver was injured and under arrest. The department said it doesn't appear any protesters were hit by the truck. The truck was swarmed, and video was seen as the hood was on the hood as it was removed. Oh man. So we don't know who the guy was. Look here, what do they say? Well, said the incident could have been a tragedy. I guess they're probably not releasing the guy's name because he could be seriously attacked after this. Yeah, they don't know. They never said his name.
Thousands of people taking to the streets and taking a chance amidst a virus that's now killed more than 106,000 Americans.
I'm willing to risk my life for my people, people of color, people who have had injustices, and I'm willing to risk my health for that.
You're both medical students, correct?
Yes.
So you all understand better than anyone the health risks right now of being in large crowds. Does that make you feel uncomfortable when it comes to protesting?
I wear my mask. I try not to be around people who aren't wearing their masks and try to make it as safe as possible.
Yeah, I think the benefits of being out here definitely outweigh the risks.
But health officials warn the protests could accelerate a second wave of the virus. A new report out this week found that social distancing is the most effective way to keep coronavirus from spreading, even more than face coverings and eye protection. In Minnesota, state health...
So anyway, we got the general idea. That just kind of scares me that this is where our country is right now. All the other countries are looking at us saying, what's up with them? We claim to be the best country in the world, and then, and then things like this happen that make you wonder, okay, here we go. Crowd gathers to clean up Minneapolis Target damage from from looting. So, again, this is not anything to do with the protest. This is just looting. This is just criminal activity. And yet, what are you going to do? They pretend that has something to do with George, and I'm sure that George wouldn't want people to be looting on his behalf. I don't know anything about George, but I mean, any normal person would say, okay, if you want to protest for me, but don't do anything like this and say it's for me. Hi, Jen. Nice to see you. Yeah, just kind of crazy, but they're cleaning up, the crowd is cleaning up the Minneapolis Target that's damaged from looting. So that's one good thing out of that they recognize that people are cleaning up after those people looted that store. And it's caused all kinds of unrest in other ways, too. I mean, Target says they're closing 6 stores until further notice, just because of safety concerns for the employees. So, if I worked for Target or any retail outlet, I'd be wondering what's going on. I'd be thinking really twice about my safety as well, because you don't know. I mean, the looters, the looters be looters, but that just is really sad. And it says here, took the streets last Thursday. A Target store in St. Paul became the poster child for escalating riot in the city. Similar situations across the country are happening. Safety employees in mind. Target announced Sunday it would close 6 locations in the U.S. until further notice. And over the weekend, the retailer has been updating this page to reflect store closures, changes in hours. Latest update as Sunday at noon, Target made a decision to only close 6 stores. So that's not that bad, but CVS is going to close 20 stores. Now granted, there are many more CVS's than Targets, and they're much smaller stores. But, that's certainly, something to think about. And so you got 20 stores that are CVS that are closing till whatever. So, crazy stuff. Anyway, so that's 2 chains that are definitely seeing the effects of this. Oh, this one was... This world is really crazy. It says here, a man charged with allegedly handing out explosives in Minneapolis. Peaceful protest, I don't mind. This kind of stuff I do. So it says here, they've charged an Illinois man for civil disorder, carrying on a riot, and possession of unregistered destructive devices associated with recent clashes between violent protesters and police. Videos allegedly posted on his Facebook May 29th. Matthew Lee Rupert, 28, was seen passing out explosive devices to other rioters and encouraged them to throw the devices at law enforcement. After handing an explosive device to another rioter and telling the person how to throw it at the police, the complaint states that Rupert is heard on video saying, "He's throwing my bombs," and adding he's going to bomb the police with them. An audible explosion is heard, and Rupert is heard saying, "Good shot, my boy." According to the complaint, as well, F12, a derogatory phrase often directed at law enforcement. On one video, the complaint alleges Rupert asked for lighter fluid, entered a sprint cell phone store and is later heard on video saying, "I lit it on fire." On May 31st, the complaint said Rupert posted Facebook videos depicting himself in Chicago. In one video, Rupert is heard saying, "Let's start a riot, and I'm going to start some damage," according to the complaint. He is seen on video entering a convenience store and placing items in his backpack. Rupert was arrested early Sunday morning by Chicago police officers after allegedly violating the city's emergency curfew order. So, hey, that's good. They got him. Rupert appeared in court Monday to be incredulous at the charge that he's facing for possessing explosive devices. A firework? Rupert responded to Chicago federal judge who had asked him to acknowledge the crime he was being accused of. "You may disagree with this, but this is what the charge was." "Yes, ma'am, I understand the charge." Prosecutors say Rupert filmed himself passing the device at a protest in Minneapolis. "I've got some bombs if some of you all want to throw them back." In a video he posted on Facebook, the agent described the device as a commercial item with a cylindrical cylinder, hobby fuse, and a main charge capable of exploding, in brown casing and a green wick, according to the affidavit, which does not refer to it as a firework. Rupert did not officially enter a plea to a charge or the other two he faces during the brief initial appearance. He was held via telephone because of court closures related to the coronavirus pandemic. He agreed to remain in custody and be transported by U.S. Marshals to Minnesota, where he is charged. So, his public defender said he would challenge the his detention once there. How can you? I mean, even if he wasn't handing out explosive devices, but was saying he was on Facebook, he's still inspiring a riot. So, either way, I say throw the book at him, or throw one of his explosive devices at him and see how he likes being exploded. People like him, the thing is, some people do it because they just think that it's a cool idea to, be in the spotlight. And some people do it for the right reasons. I mean, not that you ever do the explosions for any reason, but people like him, they should throw the book at him. They should definitely. And Amazon sees strong demand for pepper spray and Black Lives Matter merchandise as protests rage. So, of course, Jeff Bezos is making tons of money off of this. That man is the luckiest man on earth. Because no matter what it is, whether it's a pandemic, he's going to make tons of money off of Amazon. Or a riot, he's going to make tons of money off the riot. There's nobody. What's this? Get back on the show, Trish, you're slacking. I don't think she's even there. I mean, she might be, but I don't think she is. Maybe I'm wrong. Replying to Trish. Oh, she is there. What? I'm not seeing her. I don't see any of her messages. All right. Well, that's weird. She must have unfriended me again. That's weird. Why don't I see that? Start okay. That's weird. All right. Anyway. Where was I? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So I was saying, yeah, I mean, Jeff Bezos is making so much money off everything. Everything. People are buying pepper spray because of the riots and stuff. Black Lives Matter merchandise, racial justice literature. It's just amazing. The company calculates bestsellers based on sales revenue and updates the list by the hour. It comes as protests continue to erupt throughout the country following the killing of George Floyd, an unarmed black man. So, that's just the one guy that makes all the money in the world is Jeff Bezos. So, I just found that really interesting. That everybody, I mean, I bought stuff off Amazon today. It wasn't any Black Lives Matter stuff, but it was studio stuff. But you know, he makes money off all of us. So 95% of the 400 individuals arrested in Santa Monica traveled to the city, according to the police. So people were coming from out of town so they can riot. That's just, to me, scary to think about. You know, when I make my vacation plans, I plan on, you know, going to the beach or something. I don't plan on going to riot. But according to this article, 95% of the individuals are not local. Just hard to believe. It says here, number of arrests during the press conference stating that the actions did not represent the city or the residents. So, yep. When's it going to end? It needs to end. There were 438 arrests. Charges include looting, assault with a deadly weapon, assault on an officer, and curfew violations. So, yeah. At least the some of the people are helping in the cleanup too. That makes it a little more palatable, but not a whole lot more palatable. All right, then we got. I forget what these are. Oh yeah, there's some of the people that were arrested. Hundreds of demonstrators staged a die-in New York City's Times Square to call for justice after the death of George Floyd. So, yeah, we got peaceful protests. At least they're, you know, peaceful ones, where the people aren't trying to destroy the city and stuff. I mean, all they want to do is be heard, and that's okay. I don't mind that at all, because, you know, we all deserve to be heard. So, but just some ways that we do this just seem difficult to comprehend. Let's see here. It says the protests still continue. Trump says he's deploying thousands of heavily armed soldiers. One dead policeman from Louisville. An autopsy says Floyd died from homicide by asphyxia. More National Guardsmen are on duty now than ever. So it's just unbelievable. You know, the violence. Now, the peaceful people, I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with the people that are, you know, just unbelievable. Then we got, I forget what these things are. I forgot the label. Oh yeah, this was interesting. So, people are rolling up and handing black men bricks to throw at the protests. Check this out. Let me. I'll try to get her voice on.
Bitch, don't give no group of black men no brick that don't do nothing. All right, push the fuck up. Go home. Why would you give that to them? They gonna get in trouble. You stupid. You a retarded bitch. All of y'all. Why the fuck would you give that to them? That shit is wild disrespectful. I don't give a fuck about your friends. I'm talking about this white bitch giving a group of black men a brick to throw. You know that shit can get them killed? You know that. Just having that shit can get them killed. That's why you're so sensational. Go in the fucking house and kick everybody's ass. Go in the motherfucking house and slap everybody's glasses off their face. Fuck me out. That's the bullshit. What the fuck is that?
They just sitting there waiting to give somebody a brick.
Wait for a black man to walk by so you can hand them a brick.
Thumbs up to her. I like the fact that she said what she said.
Bitch, don't give no group of black men no brick that don't do nothing. All right, push the fuck
She just doesn't want to put up with it because she realizes these white people are trying to get people to be idiots, and it's just unbelievable. I think she needs an award because she actually said what was happening and said the truth. You know, people don't realize that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And if people are out just giving bricks to people to throw and just looking for trouble, those kind of people don't deserve. I mean, they're not going to be in trouble because they gave the brick out and they didn't throw the brick. They gave it to people that they knew would throw the brick, and then they could inspire more violence. Those people like that just drive me nuts, and they should be arrested just for doing that kind of thing. Anyway, got a couple others. Let's see here. Got all these pages open too. Don't need them open. All right, that was the. Is that the woman? Which one's the woman? Okay, that's the woman. Okay, I can delete that now. And this. This is really cool. Okay, so with all the things that are going today, with all the craziness going today, with all the people, all the hate people are giving today, this made me smile. This woman went up and hugged the police officer.
Get that right there!
And it was really good to see that someone posted it. Shows that not everybody hates everybody. People are just wanting people to react to what happened. And she's crying. Not everybody hates everybody. They just want to be acknowledged for the damage that was done. I just think that was really, really cool.
Get that right there!
So, I just thought that was really, really cool. That is as feel good as you can get in this environment that we have right now. The fact that this woman really felt compelled to hug. I don't know if she knew the man or not. Probably not. But, you know, I don't know what the whole situation is. I just know that that made me smile. That sometimes people really aren't that bad. Here's the one I told you about. Man shot in Louisville after police and Kentucky National Guard returned fire while clearing a crowd in a parking lot early Monday. The police chief says officers and soldiers began to clear the lot and were shot at. He says did not specify who fired the fatal shot. I mean, another one. This is just unreal. This kind of thing. Our country is supposed to be civilized, supposed to try to look after everybody, and just this is the craziness that we live in, you know. And I don't know why it is like this, but it is. So that was my Twitter stuff that I found interesting. Okay. Oh, those are all old ones. Okay. Yeah, those are old stories. All right, then we got. This is some COVID stuff. New syndrome in kids could change the fate of schools opening in the fall. Oh, I wonder how they're going to do the past, 3 months, 4 months, or whatever. The kids couldn't go to school. How are they? Are they going to be able to tell who did the schoolwork or whatever, and who didn't do the schoolwork? To me, that's going to be really difficult to figure out. So, I just don't know. Oh wow, this is interesting. It's going over some TVs. Yeah.
Damn, man, over some TVs, cuz. Over some TVs, man. For real. That's somebody's granddaddy, cuz. Man, fuck you, nigga. What y'all trying to do? Fuck you talking about? Y'all kill this man over some TVs, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. You hear me? That shit we can get, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. Stop playing, man. OG, come on, OG. Come on, OG. Come on, this somebody's granddaddy, cuz. Over some TVs. Call him, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. Come on, cuz. Come on, man. We better than this, cuz. Over a TV, cuz. Over a TV, pop him, cuz. He gone, bro. He gone, bro. Over some TVs, cuz. OG, man. Rest in peace, bro. It's nothing but love, bro. You good, bro. It's okay, bro. Just relax, bro. Relax, bro. Relax, bro. Over some TV, you was doing the right thing. You was doing the right thing. He was trying to protect you, but at the same time, it's the wrong. It's too much going on for that, OG. Come on, OG. We better than that, OG. I think he do work here, man. He work here, man. Over some fucking TVs, man. Over some TV. He lost his life over TVs, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. Over some TVs, cuz. Yeah, nigga. Don't you see?
I just don't understand this whole thing. This guy here woke up this morning and just went to work. And what happened to him? He died because somebody wanted a TV. That's just unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. People out there don't seem to care. They feel that their need for stealing is more important than somebody else's life. Now, what about that guy? I mean, he was killed by looters. So he didn't expect to die today. He thought he was just going to go to work and, collect a paycheck. But it's over some TVs. People felt that was, what it was all about. So, anyway, I was talking about, well, how did I get to that anyway? Oh yeah, I forget what I was talking about. It says New York the growing number of New York children diagnosed with the COVID-19 may impact whether schools reopen in the fall. See, how are they going to do this? Because, I mean, are they going to be able to... I mean, everybody that wanted homeschooling is going to get it now because, they have no way to do it now that everybody has this, thing going on. The illness causes inflammation of blood vessels and has been identified in children across 16 states and at least 5 countries, according to Cuomo. At least 3 children have died in New York. And it says here, we're told children were not affected, and we were opening on that basis. If you change your facts again and say children may be affected, that's a different set of facts. So when asked if this new syndrome could influence whether schools reopen in the fall, you're exactly right. However, he cautioned the next academic year is a lifetime away as far as we're concerned at this rate. Yeah, but they're going to have to start thinking about what's going on because, it's, even though it is a couple months away and anything could happen, you can't just flip a switch and be turning your schools into something overnight. I don't know what the answer is, but this story gives us hope. A top Italian doctor says virus is becoming less potent. The new coronavirus is losing its potency and has become much less lethal, an Italian doctor said on Sunday. In reality, the virus clinically no longer exists in Italy. The doctor is Alberto Zangrillo, head of the San Raffaele Hospital in Milan. The swabs were performed over the past 10 days, showed a viral load of quantitative terms that was absolutely infinitesimal compared to the ones carried out a month or two ago. Italy had the third highest death rate in the world, with 33,000 people dying since the outbreak in February. However, new infections and fatalities have fallen steadily in May, and the country is unwinding some of the most rigid lockdown restrictions anywhere on the continent. So, I don't know. I like the sounds of that, and I haven't heard anybody else say it but him. So, I don't know. I mean, I really hope that that's true, and that we will actually see it disappear. But I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see that. Wouldn't it be nice to get back to some sense of normality? More than 300 positive COVID deaths and 7 deaths on Friday in South Carolina. It says here, South Carolina is nearing 12,000 total COVID cases and 500 deaths on Sunday's newest numbers from the Department of Health. On Sunday, see, now that scares me too, because I wouldn't expect South Carolina to be that big of, because it's not like New York where there's people everywhere. But South Carolina, I don't know. Like I said, it scares me. On Sunday, the state had 312 new positive cases, bringing the total to 11,861. The state agency also reported 7 new deaths, pushing the death total to 494. All 7 deaths occurred in elderly, of course it's elderly. So that's, if there's a good thing, that would be the good thing, that it's the elderly. I shouldn't say that because I'm starting to get there. It says here below is the positive cases for each county. I don't know. Kind of weird. I didn't want to do too many of these, but really felt it was important to do some. Let's see. All right. Drop that. Massachusetts. That used to be my sales territory. Health officials announced 78 new corona deaths on Sunday and 664 new cases. That's scary that Massachusetts is so high. I would have thought that they would not. I mean, they're a small state. They shouldn't be. Well, I guess it may be a small state, but there's a lot of people in that small state. As of Sunday, 6,800 people have died from COVID-19 in Massachusetts. And of those deaths, 4,200 were reported long-term care facilities. I mean, I guess that can be expected. Then, oh, come on. COVID-19 patient discharged after nearly 70 days in the Hershey Medical Center. Whew, that's a long time. I know when I was 22, I had lung surgery, and I was stuck in the hospital. I think it was 9 weeks. And that's a long, long time when you're laying on a ventilator So, yeah. It says here, was discharged after 70 days in the hospital. Gordon Agua, 63, was discharged after splitting his time between 2 locations. He's a long-haul trucker who's returning to Texas from Massachusetts when he says he felt ill and short of breath and stopped. After stopping for dinner in Hershey, he called 911. So, wow, that's a long time to spend in there. That's crazy. Let's see here. Here's one that I talked about last week. The Ozarks had a big Memorial Day party. It says here, partygoer tests positive for COVID-19. Well, guess what? As many people as that were there without masks and without social distancing, I'm not surprised. I am really surprised that they only talk about one, because there could be any number. I mean, there were a lot of people there. So, see here. Camden County Health Department has been notified of a Boone County resident who has tested positive for COVID-19 after being in the lake area May 23rd and 24th. Over the holiday weekend, photographs and videos were posted on social media, showed dozens of people in public pools and inside businesses not practicing social distancing. So you got to think, who was the guy that, the one guy, or at least one guy. I mean, there's going to be at least one in a big situation who is positive for this, and he's going to pass it on to all these other people, unless, now it just says he tested positive, doesn't mean he actually has the virus. So, and if that doctor is correct, and it's things becoming weaker and weaker, we could be okay. But it makes you wonder, it makes you think, and it makes you think twice about doing things in a group situation, because all it takes is one person to screw it up for everybody. That's what I keep saying. It only takes one person. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, all right. Give me my stuff. Here we go. There we go. I found this interesting. A modified Cessna is the largest electric aircraft to take flight. Okay, so I'm done with COVID. I'm going to talk about fun things now. So, this is the first electric plane. And electric planes could be real interesting, because you could put solar panels on their wings, and that'll let them fly further and further. Or you could, the amount of fuel to go 100 miles would cost like $6. I think that is really cool. Makes me really hopeful that somebody, I mean, because now the upside is that it's electric, and it's going to be really cheap to fly. Because fuel for planes is very, very expensive. So, it's cool that they're doing this. Now, one of the problems with this is that being an electric plane, they're going to be very heavy because batteries are not light. And so that's one of the downfalls. Obviously, you're not going to also go long distance at this point, because it probably takes a lot of juice to get it to, fly. In fact, I think this one is only good for 100 miles. But it's something. I mean, it's something that we're going to see get better and better. It says electric aircraft are ever so slightly closer to becoming practical reality for travel. Magnex and Aerotech have flown what they say is the largest all-electric aircraft. The modified Cessna Grand Caravan van It's called the E-Caravan. Flew 30 minutes around Washington State's Grand County International Airport using Magnic's 750 horsepower Magna 500 motor instead of the turboprop engine. The flight was flawless, and it says these are the compromises. Batteries consume massive amounts of space and weight, and the current E-Caravan could haul just 4 or 5 passengers instead of 14 for a distance of 100 miles. Magnets and Aerotech hope to eventually carry 9 people 100 miles since the technology is advanced, but that won't happen until the initial aircraft's expected certification in 2021. Like I said, this is, I'm sure this is how the electric car was too. Originally, you were only getting maybe 50 to 75 miles, and now look at what you can get now. In fact, when the new Cybertruck comes out, that should be 500 miles to a charge. So, I could see a lot of good things. The electric, like I said, you put solar panels on the wings and the cab and stuff, and it could be much more. But solar panels don't charge that quickly, so I kind of doubt that it'll. But there are other alternatives. I think it's awesome. I really am excited by the whole aspect. Looks really cool. It looks just like a regular plane. For all practical purposes, it's just a really heavy plane. And what the heck? They're coming a long way. I don't know how much it would cost them to build it, though. And price and performance and all that stuff. But that is awesome. And the fact that it said flawless. The thing is, if you got a good pilot and you're just using all the same technology as all other aircraft, just replacing the motor, it'd be cool. But very cool. I am very excited about that. And who knows what will be next? Could be they may double the. They're all talking about increasing the battery power of this stuff, trying to make it, smaller. So it says here the operating cost for a 30-minute flight is $6 in electricity. That's not bad. So something to think about. Eventually it'll happen. Eventually we'll all be going, and it won't even be a second thought. We'll just do what we got to do. So, all right. I wanted to make sure I talked about that. And, oops. Okay, there we go. Where did I put it? The Cessna. There we go. China is going to introduce wireless charging system based on Witricity. I like the idea of that because I could pull my car in and not have to plug it in. Because a lot of the times when I get home, I don't remember to plug in my car. So this would be one way you would automatically get charged whether or not you're plugged in. It would be like your cell phone. You can charge your cell phone wirelessly. I don't know that you could charge. I don't understand how fast it would charge, but it says here the China Electricity Council ratified and published a national standards for electric vehicle wireless charging, which will be based on magnetic resonance technology developed and patented by Witricity, a wireless power transfer specialist in Massachusetts. Lack of standardization was always a major obstacle for popularization of wireless charging, but it appears that in the near future the industry will finally introduce a solution for all EVs, not only in China but globally. So they basically have a chart you know, they made up all these standards and stuff that people will have to follow to make their cars be chargeable under their system. So I'd like to see it. I think it would be cool, but I wonder how much it'll cost to put in. So actually, it was somebody else that did that. Where did I read it. Was it Audi or one of those were working on one? So, yeah, I'm trying to think here. I read somewhere when I was doing my research on my buying the electric car. There was somebody who had. I thought there was somebody who had a wireless charger, but I can't remember who it was. So, what's this? That looks interesting. Let's see what they had on this side. Tesla EK3. Now I get it. Now these are all different articles. Behind the scenes, we go electric car camping with the Tesla Model X and the Smart for 2. Okay. Can you charge these cars with a generator if you have no other option? The guys at the Fast Lane Car have always been about EV testing for some time. The recent video is Unique Camping Trip. That's a follow-up story about the $7,000 used Smart for 2 ED and how it compares to the $90,000 Model X. However, on the publications, it's on the publications TFL Now channel at this time. Huh. Well, that's interesting, because I did remember I saw somebody who did a charger like that on their car, and it only charged 1 mile an hour, I think. Let's see what they say. I'm kind of interested.
Great outdoors with summer just around the corner. And you might be thinking to yourself, Roman, why are you sitting in front of a giant camper camping in the Colorado woods with a weird cable on your lap? Well, that's because we're not here camping. We're actually here doing something really fun, and that is electric car camping. More specifically, we drove the Smart car and, of course, the Tesla up here as an experiment to find out if this generator, yep, this is the big boy Honda fuel injected 7000, can actually charge a Smart car and the Tesla when you're out in the woods.
You could charge a Smart car by just pushing it down a hill.
Okay, yeah, enough of the Smart car jokes, Tommy, but we're actually doing a video trying to figure out if there is enough power coming out of this immense and expensive generator that does both 120 and what's that?
240 volts, because we had to get a little bit creative to make this video happen. There's a lot of interesting results out here. Now, you recall last time we had that small little generator?
Yeah, the generator.
Yeah, it didn't work so great.
No.
Now we're back here with the king of generators, and I'm hoping we can put some real power into both of these cars.
So that's a pretty sizable generator. So you're probably looking at, I would guess, about $1,400 for that generator. So it would be worth it as long as, I mean, but you're not going to carry that in your car, chances are.
And you're wondering, can this generator actually charge both of these cars? Well, this is a behind-the-scenes video. Come on, Andre, tell them what you brought.
I brought a camera.
No, you brought that.
I brought, of course, our project truck that we're going to use on the overland journey this summer from coast to coast on Transamerica Trail. No pavement needed. And it's basically a lifted truck. Well, let me show you just really quick. It's our F-250 2020 crew cab, FX4, all that, blah, blah, blah. But it's riding on premium Carli suspension system. It's got 37-inch tall tires, talking Wild Peaks 83Ws. And it's got this four-wheel camper, pop-up camper on top. It's the Hawk.
Yeah, but Andre, I can't plug it into the generator.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because there's a 30 amp
that's neat.
Power outlet right here.
All right,
30 amps on that thing.
You may be wondering why we brought the truck when we're...
So if that's a 30 amp charger or booster, that's what my charge system works on that I'm running here. So if they have a charger that has 30 amps. I guess that means it would charge at 30 miles or so an hour. So that's not too bad if you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Or electric car camping. And the reason
And actually,
for that,
all the, like the smart car, the yellow little one, the non-Tesla, that's the best that would probably do anywhere. So
it's quite simple. What is the reason for that, Tommy? You want to show them the problem with this generator and these two cars?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Andre,
I
you
also
show the problem?
Yeah, I'll show you. Tommy, just lift it up. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a problem. Wowzer.
No. The issue is that the generator weighs a little bit. So
250 pounds, dude. Actually, 291.
Well, it's almost like me. So we're gonna use the truck to bring the generator.
Yeah, we had to bring the truck. And that video is coming up on TFL Car. So, quick behind-the-scenes video. Go over to TFL Car. Alex, you gonna get this done in about a day and a half?
Oh yeah.
Then come back on Wednesday, and you'll see if that generator can actually charge those two cars while we're out here doing a little bit of camping. All right,
so
boys,
they're not going to tell
let's
us
pack
anyway.
it up and let's head on home.
Well, that sucks. They wasted my time. I thought that was going to tell us, and they didn't. Well, that's uncool. Because I'm curious now. But again, it comes down to 250-pound generator. That could be a very problematic thing, and it would probably, any warranty you had would be pretty much done if you plug that in. So I'm going to have to watch that for a future thing, because I would be curious as to whether or not it would do it or not. This interesting thing was, now first off, probably one of the best sellers in the world is Toyota. And surprise, the Tesla 3 outsold 3 Honda Civic, the Model 3 outsold Honda Civic, Toyota Camry in California. So that's pretty cool, because those are pretty cheap cars, and well, I shouldn't say cheap. They're average cars, and it's interesting to see that people are opting the electric car in California. The Model 3 has been the most popular car in Los Angeles neighborhood for almost a year. The California New Car Dealers Association has put their I don't know what that is, imprimatur on statewide sales, ranking it the best-selling car in California in the first quarter of 2020. The top were the Model 3 at $18,856, the Civic at $18,000, and the Camry at $17,871. So that's interesting to see that they have effectively won the top spot in cars sold. So it's interesting. It says in Los Angeles, ground zero for the Model 3 mania. Neighbors have been snapping up as many M3s that have eclipsed the seemingly ubiquitous Toyota Prius. To wit, the Prius that is parked outside my next door neighbor's yard or home is still there, but it's now outnumbered by 2 Model 3s which flank it on either side. And 5 neighbors within 100 yards of my home have Model 3s, and that's a seismic shift from 2 years ago when there were none in my neighborhood. And in my wider community, there's a plague of Model 3s at the local shopping mall. And it's funny because in my area there is next to no Teslas at all, and I have really the only red Model 3 or Model X P100Ds. I have not seen any of those anywhere on my travels, and I've been in other states. I've not seen any other red Model 3 P100Ds, so it's kind of funny. Why is it so popular? Well, Tesla is like the iPhone when it first was released, and now is a must-have gadget. Autopilot, it's great in traffic. It's years ahead of other automakers. Instant torque, faster than a Porsche. After one test drive, it was sold on Tesla. The Tesla Supercharging Network. I've said it over and over again. If you're buying an electric car, you want it to be charged fast. The Model 3, Powerwall, and solar panels equal energy independence. Now, I have all of those. I have solar panels, I have Powerwalls, and I don't have the Model 3, I have the X. Not impressed by other car offerings from traditional automakers. Tesla is the green car leader. So, yeah. That's the bottom line, is that, you know, they are the leaders. There's no one else out there that gives you so much for your money. And it's really not that badly priced. Really, when you buy a Model 3, you're going to pay, you know, I think base is somewhere around $35, but, you know, you put on the extras, it'll be $45 maybe, and you save that in gasoline, plus you have credits coming and all that other fun stuff. So I don't know if the credits are still good, but you did have credits. But really interesting stuff. And I like seeing the gas cars start losing the battle of, you know, the car versus car. So the other day, last week, I think we talked about the Cybertruck going into the boring tunnel. We didn't. It stopped at the boring tunnel, but here we actually get to see.
Where is that Cybertruck? Is that around here?
That's somewhere around here.
Wait, is that the one? That may have been the one we watched. Let's see if that's the same one. I think this is the one I watched last week. Huh. Because they were getting in the tunnel. Oh, this is where they get in the tunnel. Okay. So, I want to see if they show the actual tunnel. Okay, so he's driving into the tunnel. Okay, this is the tunnel. So you get to see this. That's the Boring Company's tunnel, and the Cybertruck is getting in there. So what happens is you are in this tunnel, and it's really just wide enough for your vehicle, and you're able to do the trip between where the tunnel is in a lot quicker time than traffic would allow you, because LA traffic is really horrible. But you can just imagine driving through there and be unrestricted by it. Okay, so it says the tunnel. This is interesting. The tunnel. There it is. Okay. It's over here. It says the tunnel height is 14 feet and averages 50 to 60 feet underground. So, interesting. And you're going super fast. See, I think they attach the front and drag the car, basically. So, you're going at a certain speed, or they do something like that. I don't think you actually drive the tunnel, although it looks like he's driving. And he's pulling up into this. Then they, so what happens is you go in, you drive across this, I want to call it an elevator for a car, and then they go down by, I don't know how many feet they go down, and then you get in the tunnel, and you are able to do the tunnel in record time, because the traffic in LA is so bad. You would take 2 hours to drive what you can drive in this tunnel within probably minutes. So it's neat. I really think it's a cool thing. And then when you get at the end of the tunnel, you get back on the elevator and it lifts you back up, and that's it. So I just think that would be awesome. Yeah, I want to ride in the tunnel. It's scary though if you had an earthquake and then while you're in the tunnel. But you know, if they were to do that, where you could get in the tunnel and go between cities, that's probably what his ultimate goal is, because you'd be able to have a straight run. And the only problem is that, if there's an accident in that tunnel, that would be a real pain to get out. Unless they had some kind of, I don't know. But I'm sure they thought of all that. Just kind of cool. But anyway, I'd like to see that tunnel. RAV4, this is not a Tesla thing, but it's an EV thing, or not an EV, but a hybrid thing. So they come out with a new Toyota RAV4. This is a plug-in hybrid. Now, plug-in hybrids are actually kind of cool too, because you have 40 miles on this particular drive before you need to charge. But the 40 miles, after the 40 miles, it kicks in the hybrid motor. So if you drive, say, 15, 20 miles to work a day, you'd never use gasoline. You just always use the battery. And that's always kind of good too, because when I worked, I had a job that I was about 10 miles away, so I would never have to spend money on gas. I'd just go back and forth to work, and there it would be. So I think that would be a decent way to save money. But they have 3 different versions. They have two different versions? Maybe it's 2 different versions. The SE and the XSE. It says from 38,000 plus $11.20 for a delivery fee. It's $31,720 after you deduct the credit. So the XSE is $35,045 after the credit. So you're talking about $41,425 for the nice one, and $38,100 for the other one. I mean, they're basically just they both have nice stereos. They both have heated front seats. They both have really nice lumbar seats and all that stuff. And they just the XSE has a few upgrades that you don't have in the other one. So, but the specs say up to 42 miles on an all-electric charge, and fuel economy is considered 94 miles per gallon with the electric, which comes out to with you. Basically, that's if you drove with the electric and the hybrid together, it comes out supposedly to that. So, it's decent. I think you have a possibility of, if you needed an electric car or want an electric car but also wanted the gas backup, this would be a possible replacement car. I wouldn't mind having one to pull my trailer. Then I would be able to buy something a little less expensive for my electric car. So then I could use the gas when I wanted to use, the trailer being pulled. But my car could also, right now my electric car could pull my trailer. It's just the electric, we'd get a lot less mileage. And so that's one reason why I would like to have something like this. And the price is okay. Doesn't seem too horrible. So, anyway, something I thought about. I actually like the RAV4. I wouldn't mind having a RAV4. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of years. And that's not coming out till next year anyway. But it would be cool to have. This Tesla went up in flames, but I find out that it wasn't a battery issue. It says here, EV is 10 times safer than fossil fuel. And the Model S goes up in flames, but the battery pack didn't ignite. So that tells you that it probably was a problem where somebody just set the car on fire. The owner suspects arson. The latest wave of electric cars are showing up on the streets about a decade ago. Started showing up about a decade ago. There was a lot of speculation about the concern of safety of the battery packs. However, we have records from a decade of EVs on the road, and the data seems to be demonstrating EVs don't pose a greater fire risk than gas vehicles. In fact, they may be safer. And it says, basically there's what happened. That car had just really, they think that somebody broke the window and threw in something to burn the car up. But, there was also a gas car there, and I think this is the gas car, and that burned up pretty bad too. It says here, the battery pack is even still intact. So, they're saying the interesting point of the video is that the vehicle was severely burned. The fire didn't ignite the battery pack. They suspect that part of the reason the battery pack was spared was that it was under the vehicle and the majority of the flames were above. Still, it seems a testament to Tesla's engineering that the pack didn't catch fire under what was probably really hot conditions. The aluminum literally melted away from the body, and the melting point for aluminum is 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. So, for those people that kept saying, I'm afraid the battery's going to catch fire, apparently doesn't happen that often, and even in this car fire, didn't happen, because they were saying the batteries are still good and could be used. So, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Says, I don't pretend to be an engineer or a battery expert, but I'd be surprised if the battery wasn't damaged by the extreme heat. Just because the pack didn't catch fire doesn't mean that it wasn't destroyed. Be interested in seeing if indeed it was salvageable, but wouldn't pay anything for it. So we'll see. I mean, that's kind of, they, like I said, they suspect that someone threw fire into the cars. So it was interesting. I watched the video of the guy as he was explaining all this stuff, so I know what he was going to say about it. So then this is interesting too, because people are so impressed with Teslas that they want to be one. Here's a 2013 Mustang GT that pretends it's a Tesla. They got a giant screen upgrade, and obviously it's just someone who has too much money, and they wanted to pretend that it is a Tesla, but and it doesn't have all the features that Tesla gives, but it gives you a chance to look at it, and it actually looks pretty nice in there. That really nice big screen and all that stuff, like I have in my car. I just kind of thought it was funny that they have this this unit. It says here the few models, 5th generation S197 Mustang currently offer some impressive bang for the buck. The 5.0 liter Coyote V8 debuted in 2011 with 412 horsepower, and in standard GT trim, it's not hard to find a decent example of under 15,000. The powertrain may be invigorating, but the plastic heavy interior filled with buttons might not appeal to everyone. This video is from the Dude in Blue showcases in a radical way to fix that. Call it the Tesla effect. Rather speaking, the gigantic touchscreen featured in the clip isn't a direct Tesla product. Rather, it's a 12.1-inch vertical aftermarket screen offered by Phoenix Automotive that literally takes place of the Mustang's entire center stack. The company lists several vehicles of which a large screen is offered, but if you're a Mustang owner with a pre-facelift 2005 to 2009 S197, you're out of luck. This is for the 2010 to 2014 models only. The video goes through the installation process of this screen, which actually looks straightforward. A few screws and clips hold the center stack in place, which pops out as one giant unit. The specific car is a 2013 GT with the CD player, but the infotainment center is unable to accommodate GT premium models with extras such as heated seats. So, I mean, you could have this, but you know, again, it's probably not going to do what the basic Tesla was to do. But I think it's kind of cool looking, so you can pretend that you have a Tesla. This is the cheap man's Tesla, I guess. But I think it's kind of cool. And I don't know, if I had a Mustang and wanted to make it look cool, that's one upgrade that would be kind of cool. So let's see here. Yeah, I did that. Oh, getting down to the end here. Oh, okay, so there is a new Tesla super battery coming, they hope. The Tesla super battery, million miles, ultra fast charging, cheap and light. That'll bring the price down of the car, hopefully, a little bit, because that's, I mean, one of the most expensive things in this is definitely the batteries. And the size of the batteries definitely make a difference. I mean, my car is like 4,000 pounds. That's a heavy car. But it says here, the Tesla's been hard at work developing new game-changing batteries, and results will be shown at Tesla Battery Day. Million-mile life, super cheap, capable of charging faster than any battery out there, extremely light. Possibilities of what Tesla will reveal are basically endless. But this video suggests that Tesla will not debut a super battery that works best in all applications, but rather a variety of new batteries that will be best suited for each particular use. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. It says we expect to see Tesla reveal a battery that offers in all regards to energy density, extremely fast charging capabilities, and something that is easy to produce in volume to drive costs down. You know, you think about it, they have driven the cost down quite a bit on the Model 3, and with these new cheap electrics coming out that'll be around $25,000, they're going to probably need to find something to drive their prices down even more, so that they, I mean, even if they're just a couple thousand more than the cheapest ones, they'll still, a lot of people will buy it just because it says Tesla over the other things. I don't know. It's hard to say. So, anyway, all right, so I'm auditioning for a new, well, for a part coming up, and it's going to be interesting to see how that works, because the part is for a voice role. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to do another audition, and but well, tomorrow's audition I'm going to do is for a TV show, Advice from Celebrities. Not that I'm a celebrity, but I'm going to ask for advice on something, and I won't tell you what it is till next week, but it'll be interesting to see if they like what I'm going to pitch to them. So, what's this? Hold on, I just got an email on this stuff. Now I gotta see what it was. Skype. Let's see what she says. Oh yeah, tomorrow, 7 p.m. It's, what's this one? This one is the Celebrity Calls one. So I'm being interviewed tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and who knows? I mean, it could be interesting to see if I get that. I also am doing a voice thing for a movie coming out, and in the movie they're going to it's basically a radio station, and it's a hip-hop station, which, you know, I'm all about hip-hop. And what we're going to do is, with that hip-hop thing, I'm going to have to call in, and I'm going to well, okay, here's the story. The story is there are three DJs. Three DJs are DJ One Love Ramirez. He's Hispanic, married to his high school sweetheart, with an infant son at home, the straight man of the group, but is also the voice of the show in terms of being energetic performer, and he plays to the crowd and hype of the show. When discussion gets heavy, he tends to take the side role of the audience, asking questions and helping break down more complex points to the listener so they can follow. Of the three, he's the easiest to get riled up and is often the butt of the jokes from the two colleagues, but he's good-natured and plays along. Theo Cortez, black, mid-30s, outspoken and enjoys pushing the envelope and stirring up controversy, not afraid to speak his mind, knows how to piss people off. More observant than educated, annoyingly perceptive, likes to challenge people, not a tough guy, but rarely intimidated. Comfortable in his own skin, single with no children, a reformed troublemaker who openly talks about his past and present shortcomings on the air. Often treats the show as a form of therapy. In real life, he's probably quite shy and sometimes quiet when he's on the air. Everyone else struggles to get a word in. He has a juvenile sense of humor, enjoys being an asshole. High school dropout, has a general disdain for bumper sticker politics, and takes pride in questioning the authority and challenging the popular opinion. And then there's a girl, Darcy Everclear, ethnicity undecided. 30s, does not speak about her relationship status on the air, but is presumably involved with someone. Beautiful, independent, driven, compassionate, but not a pushover. Often states the tone of the show by either presenting topics, discussing current events, or focusing on interesting happenings in the studio. Has a regular segment where she asks her listeners to call in and field questions on the specific subject. As the only female on the hosting ensemble, she's often called upon for a woman's perspective on various subjects. The only one of the group with a journalism background often provides advice and guidance to our listeners when it comes to relationships and goals. So it says many of the callers will play between scenes in one of the hosts introducing them in blocks. It says here, you're now plugged into the drive-through window. We're Boston's latest and greatest when it comes to hip-hop, but we wouldn't be without our loyal fans. So here's what you had to say about us. And then depending on the quality of the content and the volume of submissions, they may include some during the end credits. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be doing samples and making up my own. So they want us to do things like aspiring rappers trying to get their songs played on the air. I thought I might call and be just a white rapper, a really, really bad white rapper. Drunken fans calling in to curse out the show for not playing a song or yell at boyfriend, girlfriend for doing something fucked up or otherwise putting one of their friends on blast and airing out grievances. Or you could be a caller with confident or desperate male trying to hit on or shoot their shot with the show's female MC. Then there's people who are angry with Theo and possibly want to kill him or threaten to beat him up. And then there's loud, talkative superfans who are in love with the show and its host. The shameless self-promoter who's trying to get their brand free publicity. Celebrity impressions. If anyone can do a convincing impression, this is encouraged, but consider doing it as a drop shot out example. This is MC Hammer, and you're listening to the late night drive-through. The examples would be, I love the late night drive-through. You guys tell it like it is. You know, things like that. So that's something that I think would be kind of fun. And if you get on this, you get credits, IMDb credits and stuff like that, which is stuff I could use for my resume for my acting and stuff like that. And so I'm going to probably do a couple and just see what happens. You know, I thought of doing some interesting ones like making a pass at Darcy, or telling Theo where he can stick it, or maybe doing the white rap. You know, it would be interesting. I think it would be funny if I get on that and get a credit for it after all the things I've tried to do and COVID had stopped me in my tracks. It'd be fun to do something like this. So I'm probably going to do a couple and send them over to the guys and see if they have any interest. The problem is, and someone said this to me, the problem is my voice sounds like I should be on the air, and that may be a problem. So I may not get it because I sound better than they probably sound, so I don't know. And for those of you that wonder what this shirt is, the Triple X Church, back in, I think, 2008 or 2007, Cage and I went down to Atlanta, Georgia, to do a show in Center Stage, a wrestling show. And we were there with Ted DiBiase and Superfly and Brutus the Barber, Beefcake, and all that stuff. And it was really a wild, crazy time there, because I went there, and the big show that we did and Center Stage, that was kind of cool because it was the place that WCW used to do all of their shows out of, all their TV shows out of. And so it was cool to be able to be in there and performing in the same place that they did all their shows, especially since they had the band Stryper there. So the Triple X Church is a group of porn stars, because I met Ron Jeremy there, porn stars that are into the church. And so what they did was they taped this for a future DVD that I don't know, I don't think it ever came out, but it's a shame because there was a lot of really good times there. And what happened was I did 2 matches, I think. And one of the matches I was involved in, I was put with this guy from Georgia to go against Brutus Beefcake. And I'm sitting there and I'm managing Brutus Beefcake, and I'm standing there and I'm walking around the ring and I'm hearing these heavy slaps, and I'm thinking, wow, what's going on there? These guys are beating the living daylights out of each other, and if they're not beating the living daylights out of each other, they're really looking like they're beating the living daylights out of each other. And so I knew what the end was supposed to be, and my guy was thrown to the outside of the ring, and I went up to him. I said, "Wow, you guys are really working hard." And he said, "He's beating the living daylights out of me." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, you got to get back in there because let's get this thing done." And he said, "No, I'm not going back in." And he threw me in, and I thought, "Oh man, he made him mad, and I'm going to have to go against him." So, in the best interest of the match, I jump in there, or I get thrown in there. I didn't even jump in there. I get thrown in there, and I'm going against I turned my back to him, and I thought, okay, I'll turn my back to him. He'll throw me in a sleeper. It'll make it easy, quick and easy. So he puts me in a sleeper, and I'm thinking, oh, no, he didn't. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. He puts me in Brutus Beefcake. I turn my back to him. I'm in the corner, and I thought he'll just throw the sleeper hold on me. Nope, he didn't do that. He turned me around, and he went to hit me, and I saw his big freaking hand coming at me, and I thought he was going to kill me. And boom, he hit me. I hit the ground, and I thought, okay, I can lay down here. He'll pin me. We'll be done, right? Nope, he didn't. He sat me up, he put the sleeper on me. I went out, and then he pulled out his clippers and he cut my hair. And I thought, you know, the thing that sucks about him cutting my hair is it never grew back, see? So I blame him for my haircut. Anyway, so we go in the back. Well, no. Then he threw me out of the ring, and he went after wherever the other guy went. And I hear him, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Because the people can't hear this. Brutus is running back and forth and going through all the locker rooms trying to find this guy, and I'm coming in the back, and I'm like, wow, this is really crazy. And Brutus looked at me, he said, I'm going to kill your friend, I'm going to kill him. I said, I don't even know his name. I was just set with him today, so whatever he did, that's on him. Oh. Anyway, Brutus and I talked afterwards, and we were good, but whatever that guy did, I mean, he must have hit him hard or something. He just wanted to kill him. So, fortunately, he didn't kill me, so that's the important thing. So with that, I'm going to call it quits, and I'm going to talk to you guys next week. And I thank you for showing up and listening, and it's another day in the park. So with that, I will talk to you later on, and thank you very much for listening in, and as always,
It's still the one.